Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing Sunday. And for those that are tuning in for the first time, my name is Ricky. I run the largest YouTube channel and the largest private Facebook group for those who trade in the stock market. Once a week during our Sunday stock talks like this live stream, I go live at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I break down the top stocks that the people that tune in see value in. So all I ask you to do is to post it in the ticker call out format. So you're going to see the TechBuds Garage channel posting the ticker call out format. And this is just so we empower you for you to do your own 2 cents before you ask me to break down a stock for you and give you my opinion on it. At the very end of the day, I want to make sure that you guys are all reminded that me sharing my opinion in no way should have any influence on what you decide to see value in. I think it's very important for everyone to know, right? It's the best way to be successful in any market is to make sure that you understand what it is that you are doing. So there's nothing wrong with getting a secondhand opinion or seeing another person's perspective. But at the end of the day, it should be you that decides where you're going to enter, where you plan to exit, and to also make sure that you have a stop loss or you manage your risk in some form of way. So I really hope that you guys enjoy this video. I'm going to start sharing my screen just so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm looking at. And I'm going to say what's up to everybody very, very quickly. What is going on, Anton? So if you're new to the live stream or new to the Sunday Stock Talk, feel free to say hello, and then I'll hopefully call out your name. So what's going on, Sean? What's going on, Darwin? My guy, how you doing? What's going on, Muhammad? Uzman, what's going on? Benny, Grant, Brian, Nick, Kyle, Jerry. What's up? What's up? What's going on, TechBuds Garage? Here we go. What's going on, Robert Hall? What's up? What's up? Here we go. We got Ramen. We got Brenton. Let's see, Jason. We got the whole team. The whole team is here. What's up? What's up? What's up? Christian. Oh man, look at this. This is going wild right now. What is going on? Oh, how excited! All right, and this is a genuine question for each and every single one of you. And correct me if I'm wrong, but since you began trading in the stock market, is it just me, or do you now look forward to Mondays? Usually, people that have normal jobs, which there's nothing wrong with that, the work week is normally Monday through Friday. Is it not true that once you begin trading, you are almost excited for market open on Monday, right? So that's definitely something that I've grown to have a big passion for. Is I genuinely look forward to every single Monday, and we have a bunch of people that are agreeing as well. So I hope that if you're maybe struggling to stay motivated, to be self-driven, maybe just getting started and learning more about the stock market something that can empower you to maybe have a little bit more drive to start the week off strong. So watching you and doing my homework for finance, I like that. What is going on, Abdul? All right, let's go ahead and go live, or not go live, but let's break down the top stocks that you guys see value in. So again, all I ask you to do is to post it in the ticker call out format. So that's going to be like Jason right here. And we got some irrelevant people here. Let's see. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and I'm going to break down the top stocks that you guys see value in, and then we can kind of go from there. Again, I hope that you guys enjoy this video. Make sure that if you guys can, do me the biggest favor, we'd really appreciate the thumbs up. And if you guys could subscribe, we'd greatly appreciate that as well. And again, that first link in the description is for our free Facebook group. So if you'd like to stay connected, then that would be ideal. So here we go. We got Prolate talking about AAXN. I think we broke this one down last week, if I'm not mistaken. So one of the things that I want to do is I want to break down stocks right with you guys, but I want you guys to give your own opinions as well. This one was one that we broke down last week, and very quickly, I like to focus on 3 things. I like to focus on the direction, because if we want to grow our accounts, we want to focus on patterns that are showing signs of growth. Second thing is the margin of profit. We want to make sure that the opportunity cost is worth the trade, it's worth the risk, right? And then the last thing is for there to be a pattern that we can kind of have a better understanding of what most likely can happen. Again, patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't have to. One of the things that I want to point out is that normally this thing was trading above the SMA line, which is the green line that you see right here. Normally acts as a support. The pattern broke below the SMA line, which now can act as a resistance, which is something that we see sometimes pretty often. So I have my alert set right here. It looks like it's been consolidating. It's kind of, we've talked about the 3 stages of a reversal: rejection, consolidation, and then confirmation when it begins to make make higher highs. I'm going to be very patient with this one. I'm just going to watch it. So I'm not saying that I'm going to trade this one at all. But one of the things that I want to make sure that it fulfills is its previous pattern, right? It was trading above the SMA line, and I just want to make sure that it continues with that. So to keep it short and simple, I need this overall pattern to begin to trade above the SMA line and for this thing to begin to make higher highs. So once we have that confirmation, then I'll have a little bit more of a better understanding and be more confident if I want to trade AAXN. So as of right now, I would still say that this is in the consolidation phase, and it's not really making higher highs anymore. It's not selling off, but it's not making higher highs. So we just want to be effective with our trade. So what's going on, Darwin? We got IIPR. IIPR, here we go. All right. Okay, so I definitely see why this one's being called out. So the MACD looks good. And looking at the RSI, that's decent. One of the biggest things that I want to point out, and again, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I just want to give you my 2 cents on maybe why this might not be the best trade. And it's because it's definitely overbought. There's no question about it. Can it bounce here? 100%. Can it push back up here? Yes. Margin of profit is definitely very attractive. We can see that there's a pattern of overall low points and overall high points. I think that everyone can point that out. Low points, high points. And if we go based off of the 20-day 1-hour chart, we might be able to see it a little bit cleaner, right? A little bit easier. One of the things that I want to point out is it's not the best deal, right? It has a lot of margin to sell off. And although the SMA line normally acts as a support, it's very far from that. So it is overextended. There's no question about that on the 180-day chart. Does it have to sell off? No. Is it eventually going to sell off? Most likely it usually corrects itself down to the SMA line. We don't know if it's going to bounce here. One of the biggest things is because it's so overextended, I would take this day by day, right? So I would day trade it, and I want to make sure that confirmation is key. If this thing begins to trade in between the middle and top view up and begin to show signs of an uptrend, then again, that's something that I would personally find attractive. As of right now, patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't have to, and it is at previous, lows around that 120 area, but I would like to wait for confirmation. So I'm just going to set my alert for the break above the EMA line, which is the exponential moving average, or the moving average exponential, which is this light blue line that you see here. And for all those that are going to be asking, what platform am I using? I'm using the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. It's the platform that I use, and quite frankly, it's not the one that you have to use. It's good for me. It doesn't mean that it's going to be good for you. So just make sure that you do your own research and see which one's the best platform for you and available in your country. What is going on, Matt Fuller? What's up? What's up? We got ticker symbol DAN. Dan the man. Here we go. Alrighty. Here we go. Okay. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about ticker symbol DAN? DAN. Looking at this when it's, again, I like to keep it pretty simple. I like to focus when something is, a little bit on the overbought side, a little bit on the oversold side, right? Make sure that we get a good deal. It looks like it pulled back. It looks like it might try to bounce, right? We're getting some consolidation around the SMA line. The MACD looks good. The RSI looks decent. But it's still getting rejected. Do you see this? The EMA line is acting as a resistance. So we just want to make sure that, again, the direction is in our favor, that it does confirm a support and it does change direction and begins to make higher highs. So we want it to look something like this, where it's pushing up and showing signs of growth if we want to grow our account. Right now, it's kind of just consolidating. It doesn't have to push up, and that's why we say confirmation is key, especially after my rough week trading last week. That's definitely going to be a huge area of opportunity for me. Risk management, of course, and on top of that, to be very selective, especially if you're under the PDT rule, to be very selective with your entry points. Just think about it. How many times have you, traded something and you get in when you think you found the bottom, but it just continues to sell off? What if you would have just been more patient? Again, if you're so, just focused and you're so just sure that something is going to bounce, why not just give it more time and let it prove it to itself, let it prove it to you that is the support. So, patience goes a long way, especially in the stock market. So let's go ahead and break down the next one. Here we go. Edward is breaking down or asking for a breakdown on ticker symbol SHOP. So SHOP. So I did bring this one up if you're part of TechBot Solutions or Learn Plan Profit. For all those that were talking about maybe some swing trades, SHOP is Shopify multi-billion-dollar online platform, right? That has to do a lot with like drop shipping and stuff like that, which is huge for that. And the overall SMA line, again, I like to really focus on direction, and there's a very consistent pattern. It's been consistently showing signs of growth, right? And the overall direction is potentially in our favor, right? It peaked out, so it became a little bit more on the overextended side right around 330, makes sense, and it began to sell off. Right now, it's still selling off. I can't say that it's found a support, but generally, right, normally around the SMA line, which is this light green line, it acts as a support. Just because it has before doesn't mean that it has to again. So again, patience goes a long way. One of the things that I would kind of watch out for on this is once we have confirmations of higher high and the overall direction begins to change and we begin to break above the EMA line, I think that could be something that, just waiting for the confirmation. Looking at the MACD, looking at the RSI, yes, it looks like a good deal based off previous patterns. Margin of profit is not bad, right? Definitely pretty attractive, especially if you're, and again, this is just a little heads up, if you're someone that is just getting started, right? If you're someone that's been losing because you're trading penny stocks, OTC stocks, or just lower cap stocks and pump and dumps like the very infamous NIO this last week, one of the heads up that I just want to give you, or suggestions that really helped me out, is to ignore, right? As you're just getting started, you should be trading to learn, not trading to profit, right? So don't feed into all the, I don't want to say BS, but if you don't understand why something is pushing so much within a very short period of time. So if something just pushes up 25% and you don't understand the catalyst that drove the price up, again, a very simple little reminder that you might want to consider is, is that trade really going to make you or break you in, improving, right, your overall trading career? No, right? If you, the habits today, right, and your best practices today should align with your end goal. So if you want to do this for the rest of your life, or you just want to do this as a hobby, you want to make sure that you don't discourage yourself. And if you get into positions that you don't understand what's going on, I think you're just more prone to making mistakes. Easiest way for me to put it, right? So be selective. Focus on patterns that show signs of growth, focus on good deals, and just get the ball rolling, right? The hardest part is always getting started. I'm not saying that shop is a stock that you should trade. I'm just saying that, based off of the way that I see value, it's much easier based off of previous patterns. And if you focus on getting a good deal, if you focus for confirmation and the overall direction is still in your favor and the opportunity cost is worth it, right? That it makes more sense why you're more likely to experience growth by trading something like this that shows signs of growth in comparison to pump and dumps. You will actually understand where to enter, right? There's going to be a reason on why you sell, right? There's going to be a reason on maybe why you cut losses. Even if it doesn't go according to plan, you'll at least understand what happened. And I think that's the biggest difference. Yeah, you can make money on something, but if you don't understand what's going on, then can you really be self-sufficient and do that yourself? So just a little heads up. And again, I'm sorry for the little tangent. I just want to make sure that for those that are just getting started, that you don't get discouraged. Stock market can be, very risky if you don't manage your risk and if your maybe focus is not where it maybe should be, right? So just a little heads up on that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. This is going to be for Chloe HSC. Here we go. HSC. So we got ticker symbol. Based off previous patterns, we can see that there's a lot of volatility. I personally just don't like things that move like this. This is a $25 stock. Looks like it became overextended around this general area. So right around $28, it found a resistance, right? Became overbought, began to pull back, and it looks like it's definitely trying to find a support. Look at the RSI, look at the MACD. It's based off previous patterns. It's found a support here before. So I can definitely see why, you're paying attention to this. Easiest way for me to, what it comes down to is we need that direction to change. So we just want to make sure that we begin to make higher highs and that the overall direction is in our favor. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. But just as much as it could go up, it can go down as well. So I'm going to go ahead and set my alert here. So there we go. All right, let's move on to the next one. EOLS. What's up? All right, EOLS looks like it's showing signs of an overall reversal, and I just don't like the direction on this one. I'm again being super biased, so please just take my opinion as what it is. But it showed signs of an aggressive sell-off. The overall SMA line is showing signs of a descending pattern. It's pointing down, and again, the SMA line will most likely act as a resistance as it hasn't really been able to change its direction. So I would be very patient with this, and until the overall direction is in your favor, then I wouldn't really, in a sense, pay too much attention to it. So here we go. What's going on, Alex? PENN. All right. Okay. So I definitely see. Let's see. I definitely see why it is that you're calling this one out. So are you guys gonna go by the car?
Yeah, we're gonna check it out.
Okay, sounds good. I don't know if you guys follow Weston on YouTube, but you guys can subscribe to his channel. He's gonna go check out a new car, potentially a new flip, right? He buys and resells cars, and it's gonna be a BMW. Would this be the first BMW that you buy?
Yes, until I met you guys, I did not like BMW.
Yeah. So.
And this is the only one 335.
And then Phil has a single turbo BMW as well. So okay.
As long as it's a good deal, then we'll see what happens, guys.
Isn't that pretty cool that we can buy cars, enjoy them, and then still sell them for a profit after we, enjoy them?
Yeah, this is definitely more of like an enjoy. They take a month, but
yeah,
it's cool, fun, and we're not gonna lose money.
So that's what it's about. I like it. Yeah. So if you guys haven't subscribed to Weston, he's one of the featured channels on my YouTube channel, and then there's Phil as well. All right, PENN. I can definitely see why it is that this can be viewed as a support based off previous patterns. It 100% makes sense. One of the things that I do want to point out is that the overall SMA line, very easy, right, has been acting as a resistance. No question about it. It's been making lower highs. So you can see based off of previous highs, it's been slowly not recovering as much as it has before. That means that one of two things. It could be consolidating, and then it can begin to make higher highs and change its overall direction, or it doesn't have to continue to actually bounce. It will most likely consolidate and then maybe break and begin to make lower lows. So again, one of two things. So it's at a critical point right now. That's kind of how I would view it. Confirmation is key, and the overall direction is not in your favor. I would view this to be something very risky. Until the overall direction then begins to change, that's something that I would kind of just, keep an eye out for. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So here we go. Ticker symbol BABA. All right. Alrighty. What do you guys think about this? Alibaba, right, was showing signs of an uptrend. Overall SMA line aggressively sold off, pushed up, recovered, and then pulled back. Looks like it's kind of just consolidating right here. Not really making higher highs. We get to kind of see that it's been selling off. It's kind of that consolidation phase, and then it would be ideal for us to wait for an overall reversal, right? So let's go ahead and change this up. So let's go ahead and go from that. And yeah, that's a great way to see it. So one of two things can happen. It could either continue to sell off like this, right? Or it could actually find a support and then begin to push up again. Overall SMA line, it's in the very early stages of an overall reversal. That's why I think the SMA line, which is a simple moving average, Google it, YouTube it, learn more about that indicator. But the way that I use it is, especially on larger time frames like this on the 180-day chart, I think it's a great indicator for overall direction, right? Because it doesn't move as quick as the EMA line, which is the moving average exponential. It's a great indicator for overall direction and the way that maybe that specific pattern is heading, right? So here we go. Next one is J. J is calling out ticker symbol AMD. I like that. All right. I want you guys to break this one down with me. So AMD, what do you guys think about this one? FM is saying, okay, I've seen you before, subscribing this time to learn more. Sounds good. Welcome to the team. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Don't forget to join our free Facebook group. First link in the description, right? AMD, what do you guys think about it? Based off of previous patterns, first of all, overall direction. I like it. It's showing signs of an uptrend, right? I like that. Overall direction is in our favor, or it's showing signs of growth, unless you're shorting it, right? Definitely showing signs of growth. Now, the pattern. How does it normally trade? Low points, high points, low points, high points, right? And it makes sense on why it might be due for a pullback. Let me ask you guys this. Please, if you're watching this, just answer it. It makes sense that AMD would pull back, right? That based off previous patterns, like it consolidated last time and then it sold off, right? That, it can pull back. Does it have to pull back? Can it push up? So just because something has happened before, does it have to pull back? If you're watching this, just answer it, yes or no. Does something have to do what it's done before? Does a pattern have to repeat itself? No, right? So do we agree that can AMD push up? Of course, anything can happen. This thing can open at $200 tomorrow. Let's say they have an acquisition from Apple, right? They just want to buy AMD at this point, right? Anything can happen. But based off previous patterns, it makes sense on why it can pull back. So all I want to present to you is if you think that AMD is such a good deal right now, right? I would wait for confirmation for higher highs. But most importantly, I'm a deal hunter. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like overpaying for anything. And if I can get a good deal and I just have to give something a little bit more time, then why not, right? So if I were to say, hey, I'll sell you my iPhone X. I'll sell it to you right now for $1,000. The resale value is $1,000, so let's say, right? Probably not the best deal. Let's say I sell it to you for $900, right? Right now. Or based off previous patterns and how things can pull back, I'm gonna probably need more money in about a month, and I'll be probably in more of a demand to sell it. So I'll probably sell it to you for $500, right? That's a way to look at it. The more patient that you are to wait for something, for the opportunity to present itself, like you've identified the pattern, you've done your technical analysis, you've done your due diligence. Now you just need to give it time for it to fulfill that potential opportunity. The more patient that you are, the more margin you might have for potential recovery. So let's say that, it does sell off. Instead of trying to buy here and sell here, you're like, yeah, you can make money. You can make money doing anything, right? Why not just wait for confirmation, wait for this thing to sell off, consolidate, and then for the overall direction to be in our favor. And the margin of profit will then be that much more rewarding. And guess what? You did your part as a trader to identify a pattern. You waited for confirmation, and you were structured. You were self-sufficient. Don't care about what I say. Don't care about what anybody else says. At the end of the day, you're the one that's trading. You should be held accountable, and you are. You're solely accountable for whether you make money or lose money. It doesn't matter who you learn from, but at the end of the day, your goal is to become self-sufficient. So make sure that your actions speak louder than your words or your hopes or your desires. Anything is possible. Anything can happen. But do your part as a trader right now to make sure that your best practices today align with your end goal. So if you want to grow your account, then do your part in getting the best deal. So let's keep it simple. FNKO. Here you go, FNKO. Here we go. What do you guys think about this one? Emmanuel saying you are the best, Ricky. Appreciate you, Emmanuel. Thank you again for tuning in. FNKO. What do you all think about this? Is this a good deal? Is this a buy right now? Is this something that I need to buy right now? The direction is in our favor. Do we maybe need to give it a little bit more time? 3 stages of a reversal: rejection, consolidation, and confirmation. Where is this at right now? Confirming higher highs. I think that we could all agree that based off previous patterns, yeah, it makes sense on maybe why it can bounce here, why it can begin to make higher highs. But if you're so certain, why not just wait for confirmation? Set your alerts. I already have my alert because we've broken this one down before, and just wait for higher highs. This could be a potential swing trade. But just as much as it could go up, anything can happen. It can sell off. Any news can come out about FNKO and drive the price down. Confirmation is key. And even when you do wait for confirmation, right, the overall direction can change. And that's why risk management is so important. But just make sure that, based off of controlled variables, you can't control what they're going to release based off of news, but just do your part as a trader to set yourself up for success. I think that's a great way to look at it, right? Actions speak louder than words. Sir, I'm really happy that you brought this one up. I would have to say that this one is definitely at a critical point where it's bound, right, to maybe make higher highs, but we just need to wait for that confirmation. So here we go. What's going on, Luke? CVRS. CVRS. Here we go. I'm going to do about 2 more, and then I'm going to dedicate some time to answer some open-ended questions. So not breakdowns of stocks, but maybe some open-ended questions that you guys might have about this upcoming week and maybe just in your experience of trading. So one of the things that I do want to point out is that this stock is at $2.88. It's not something that I would personally trade. It's a little bit too low of a cap stock. The volume is a little bit lower, and you can definitely see that just the way that the candlesticks are. And it has been pulling back, but I think that we can definitely see a pattern, right, where there's higher highs and higher lows. Definitely on the oversold side, the MACD looks decent, but again, no signs of a reversal just yet. So I would wait for confirmation on this one. Again, this is not something that I would trade, especially if you're someone that's just getting started. If you just want to watch it and see how it plays out, I think that's great. You know, you're learning something new. You don't need to directly benefit, right, from the overall in the monetary aspect. Just begin to write them down, where you would have bought in, you know, where the confirmation is at, where you would ideally sell, and just watch it, perform your analysis, and see if it, you know, actually plays out according to plan. Have fun with it, you know, enjoy the process. But definitely, you know, just as much as it could go up, it could go down, it could aggressively sell off, especially with these lower cap stocks. So just make sure that you stay patient and that you wait for that confirmation. So again, if you want me to break down the stock that you see value in, then make sure that you do your part in posting it in the ticker call out format. What's going on, Asher? /CL is a future, right? Or maybe you are asking for CL, right? Overextended, overbought, not a good deal based off previous patterns. Yeah, it is showing signs of an uptrend, but again, doing our part as traders, it looks like it could pull back. If you're talking about /CL, which is the crude oil, what's it called, the future, yeah, I do agree that this is a little bit more on the overbought side. It's bound to pull back. It doesn't have to, but it makes sense on why it would, especially based off of previous patterns. Looking at the RSI, looking at the MACD, it definitely makes sense. But again, if this thing does begin to sell off, then that's in favor of DWT. Please understand, if you don't understand the correlation between futures and overall ETFs, how /CL then correlates on over to UWT, and then, you know, the inverse of UWT is DWT. That's, again, a huge focus for me. It's something that I really enjoy to trade. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I like trading natural gas ETFs, UGAS and DGAS, and I like trading, you know, crude oil ETFs such as UWT and DWT. Just because I like doing something at the end of the day does not mean that that's the best option for you. So I hope that you know that. Just because I do well with something doesn't mean that you're going to do well as well. Right? It's whatever resonates with you the best. And if it doesn't make sense to you, you know, then don't do it. Don't continue to do it. There's nothing wrong with testing something out and learning more about it. But if it doesn't make sense to you and you just don't find it to be a working system or a working area, you're more, or maybe you're more effective or efficient in a different niche within the market, then so be it. Be empowered, right? Be empowered to be self-sufficient and to, you know, stay micro-focused on what you do well in. Either DWT or UWT should do well this week. Well, I mean, that's kind of very like, I mean, there's no wrong, right, with that answer because they're inverse ETFs, so one's bound to either push up or push down. So, but yeah, I definitely get what it is that you mean. I think it makes sense on why this thing can pull back. It doesn't mean that it has to. So what are you trading? We'll have to see. We'll have to see what opportunities present itself. Matt, yeah, I caught you on that one, right? But yeah, I think you shouldn't really care what I'm trading, right? Because if it doesn't make sense to you, then yeah. So I love this. So IIPR is a great opportunity. Whoever thinks this isn't a good idea is an idiot. Okay. Hey, everyone sees value in different ways. Just as much as you see value in it, I'm sure someone's just as much as against it. I just think it's funny that you're so empowered, right? So determined about IIPR. Well, I really hope that it works out in your favor. Just one of the things that I want to point out is, again, confirmation is key. Just because it's done something before doesn't mean that it will bounce at that same and previous, you know, support. So, you know, just a little heads up. Confirmation is super important, and from my experience, I just would hate for you to get in too early and then something begin to sell off, right? So, but I wish you the best for sure. All right, here we go. Let's do one more. So we got next tech edit, VRUS. Let's do a good one. Let's see, VRUS. I'm gonna do these quickly. Lower cap stock. This looks like a pump and dump. Pushed up, became super overbought, overextended. Makes sense on why it's due for a pullback. This would not be something that I would trade. And again, that's just my opinion. But yeah, Ish, thank you, man. I appreciate that. DAL. Here we go. super overbought, super overextended. Again, I like the pattern, but I think it would make more sense to do our part as deal hunters, at least for myself, right? Not everyone's a deal hunter. People sometimes don't mind overpaying as long as the direction is in its favor. But yeah, I just want to make sure that I do my part as a trader, and I'm going to set my alert for there to be a more of a better deal, right? To say the least. So setting myself up for success. We got Jean Paul Monterelli. Sounds Italian, maybe, right? Here we go. NVDA. I like that last name. NVDA. Here we go. Okay. It looks like it's recently it's changed directions, right? So it was selling off. It recently began to push up. It broke above the overall SMA line. It pushed up, became overextended, pulled back. Now it's kind of more on the overextended side. Pay attention to the RSI. Pay attention to the RSI and the MACD. And I think it makes sense on why this thing's bound to potentially pull back, right? So let's just again do our part as traders if this is a focus for you to get a good deal. So I'm not sure how it looks on the 1 day 1 minute chart, but it looks like it's pushed up. It did very well last week. Now it makes sense on why it can pull back. So again, I hope it works out in your favor, but just be selective with that entry, and at any indication of a reversal, not a bad idea to lock in profits. All right, here we go. We got Tara here, AXSM. I appreciate you tuning in. Here we go. I like this one. Okay, therapeutics. If you guys have watched any of my videos, if you're part of Learn Plan Profit, what do you think I think about this stock? Based off my experience, you guys might laugh, but if you've watched my videos and you know me, right? Why would I maybe not be the biggest fan about AXSM? Do you guys know? It's not that I hate it or anything like that. I have no emotional attachment to this, right? It's a stock. You don't trade medical companies. You don't trade therapeutics. So yeah, I don't like bioscience. I don't like marijuana or cannabis stocks. And I just have had a very poor experience with therapeutics. And again, this is based off of my experience. It doesn't mean anything to you. But because of my bad experience previously trading a series of therapeutic, bioscience, marijuana, cannabis companies, I've made the decision to just stay away from them. I see there to be a lot of false marketing, a lot of pump and dumps, right? And a lot of manipulation in these areas. That's based off my experience. I'm sure people thrive. I'm sure there's a small group of people that thrive with this niche, just like I do very well with ETFs. Find your niche. Based off my experience, I wouldn't trade this. I like the pattern though. If we just focus on the technicals, I like the SMA line. It's been showing signs of higher highs. The MACD looks good. The RSI looks decent. Now we just need to wait for confirmation, then break above the overall EMA line. So, yeah, I would just be very careful with the news that's released with a lot of these companies, just because even the companies themselves are sometimes, don't have the best intention, to say the least. All right. I already did Delta. That's ticker symbol DAL. I already broke it down. So these are all the stocks that we broke down today. So we did 3, 6. All right. Yeah, we did about 15. All right. I want to dedicate the rest of the time, if that's okay with you guys. The rest of the time, we have I want to do 5 minutes of Q&A. Someone's in the house. What the heck? Thought everyone left. Hello? Harley? Oh my goodness, you genuinely scared me. I was like, who is that? I'm live right now. I don't know. I don't know if you guys remember, but we got Robinhood Harley in the house. Imagine I'm like live and there's an intruder and it's all caught during the live stream. That'd be hilarious, right? All right, let's go ahead and answer some open-ended questions. So what is your goal for profit this upcoming week after some red days last week? So yeah, I had a really poor trading week last week. And I'm not going to have a huge focus. And again, it's much easier said than done. But I don't know about you guys, but I feel like just like my experience on Friday where I was up a great amount during pre-market hours, it was almost like revenge trading, to say the least. I had a really bad day on Wednesday. I lost $4,200. and I was up a decent amount. I think I was up almost $4,000 during pre-market hours. And I gave a lot of that back because I was so focused with the mindset of making my money back that I thought that was taken away from me. And it wasn't taken away from me. I lost it, and I lost it fair and square. I didn't deserve those green days. So my biggest focus this week, and again, I recently began to trade with $100,000, and it's still, it brings like the learning experience of scaling and managing risk, the emotions aspect, all back. And it's definitely something that I'm going to have to work on as time goes on. So my biggest focus, for this upcoming week is I'm still going to aim for anywhere from around 1% to 2% a day if the opportunity presents itself. But I'm going to have a much larger focus this week in confirmation, to say the least. I'm going to be extremely selective with what I choose to trade, and just make sure that I do my part as a trader to set myself up for success. So options versus stocks, whatever better suits you. Options I find to be very risky, but so are stocks, right? And I don't have any experience trading options. It's not an area. Not an area that I focus on. But I know people. I've heard of people do well with options, just like people do well with stocks, and just like people do well with Forex and crypto. And you can make money in any market. At the end of the day, it's just your understanding and your approach, and you just have to make sure that it makes sense to you. So ignore what everyone else is saying. Ignore, regardless of how much money someone makes or how little someone makes or doesn't make any. It's irrelevant to you. It's you approach it in a way that makes sense to you, and just make sure that, again, you understand that it's all about scaling. So don't try to make it or break it right now, because you have nothing but time to make money down the road. So right now I would trade to learn and not trade to profit. I think that's a great mentality to have. So how many trades open at one time? I don't know if it's just me, but that question really didn't make sense to me. Ricky, how long did it take you to become a millionaire? So I think I was like 22, right? But I didn't expect it to happen like obviously so soon. At 22, that's before I think I had my YouTube channel for about a year. And I was just about to come out with Learn Plan Profit. I was shortly before that, even before the course or anything like that. I already had 4 houses. I had my McLaren MP412C. I had my Z06. I'm a huge car guy, and it's something that I'm into. And I was very close at that point. And then with all the different businesses that we began to start and all the different people that we began to bring into our team, the reason I think that we've been doing so well is because of the people that I surround myself with. So yes, I'm the face of it. And yeah, you see me every day, but it would not be, I don't want to say it wouldn't be possible. It just would not be the same, and I would not be as effective if it were not for my team, to say the least. So I would highly encourage you to find people that empower you and that, push you to be the best person that you can be, right? It's such an amazing environment to wake up every morning, and I think it's very rare, but to be able to work with your friends and enjoy every second of it. I think that's the part that I enjoy most about my life. But yeah, so what do you study more, 180-day chart or daily? I focus a lot on day trading now because the market has been very inconsistent. So I would say the 1 day, 1 minute chart is a huge focus for me. I really liked, my favorite indicator, I would say, is either the EMA line or the VWAP indicator. So that's VWAP. You could Google it, YouTube it. If you're part of Learn Plan Profit, there's a video that explains it in the course on how I use it. So here we go. So I saw one of Ricky's videos about housing for entrepreneurs. Is TechBud still doing that? I am not. So my following, and this might sound weird, but I was doing it like little by little as I was buying more properties. So a little heads up, if you guys didn't watch my video that I uploaded, I think yesterday, I'm buying my 7th property tomorrow. So I'm funding a $280,000 loan for Lenny, and it's the first house that I'm going to be funding in Scottsdale, Arizona. So I'm very excited about that. But my following kind of grew like out of nowhere, and we began to get people to want to live in the house that it was just more of like fanboys and stuff like that, and less people of like who were actually very motivated every day. And I just want to surround myself with you. Like I love people that enjoy our content, but at the end of the day, you don't just want to surround yourself with a bunch of yes people. You want to surround yourself with people that, can give you like counter arguments or constructive criticism. And that can, have their own opinion about what it is that you are doing that actually makes sense, right? Did you experience to be lost a lot? To be lost a lot. So did I lose a lot of money when I started trading? Yeah, I lost my entire account when I first started. And that's why I always tell you guys, if you're part of Learn Plan Profit, if you're part of Technical Solutions, or you just watch my videos, just think about it. Just literally think about it for 5 minutes. If you've never thought about it, just remember, like, I don't care how much it is that you're trading with right now. You're just getting started. You're just learning. You're not trading with what you can be trading with, 5 or 10 years down the road. And just think about it this way. Right now you're probably trading with a much smaller amount. Why? Understand why you're doing things. Why? Because your confidence, your experience, and your track record is not there. But if you're someone that's growing your account 10, 20%, let's just even say 10 or 20%, you're trading, not investing, right? There's a difference. Trading 10, 20% a month, and you do this consistently for 2 years, it makes sense that then you would want to trade with more because your track record, your experience, and your confidence is there. But when you have none of that, why are you so eager to make it or break it? It just doesn't make sense. And that's something that it was a tough pill for me to swallow when I first got started, but just think about it. That's why I always try to empower you to say, trade to learn, don't trade to profit when you're just getting started. So I've been reading information from other swing traders due to due diligence. Yeah, most other swing traders, all of them mention relying heavily on the 50 EMA, but you don't. I'm not a huge swing trader. I wouldn't say that. And with swing trading, I would have to say that a lot of it, most of it, it does have to do with technical analysis, and I can see that with the 50 EMA. But when it comes down to swing trading something, you also want to make sure that because of the risk of holding something overnight when there's, uncontrolled factors and risk, you're probably going to want to understand more on the fundamental side as well. And I don't do fundamental analysis. It's just not an area that I focus on. It doesn't mean that it's not worth it. It just means that I don't do it. So for real, no BS, you're a huge inspiration to me, and there's a lot of people doing and generally responding behind it. Appreciate you. Thank you again for tuning in. I really do appreciate your time. Is it better to day trade or swing trade for long-term beginners? Please, Ricky, tell me. So Nicholas, I would say that, again, like I can't answer that question for you because I don't know, how you trade. I don't know your experience levels, and I don't know how you see value. I say this very often, and I know it's annoying, but we are all wired in different ways. Just because I do very well with day trading does not mean that you should do the same thing, right? Like, test it out. And this is what I'll leave you guys with. So before we end this video, one of the friendly reminders is click that first link in the description, join our free Facebook group. Hope you guys will subscribe. And before I end this video, I want to leave you guys with this little message. Let me drink my little in and out thing. I got some lemonade. But one of the things that I want to remind you is that it doesn't matter who you're learning from, right? You can be learning from your grandpa. You can be learning from maybe a neighbor or a close family or friend is an experienced trader. You could be learning from my video. There's so many other people on YouTube that make great content when it comes down to trading or investing. They share their best practices. They share what works well for them. For sakes, the Learn Plan Profit Group. I trade live every single day with the Learn Plan Profit Group, Monday through Friday. They see me trade. They see how I see value. And at the end of the day, just because I can do something successfully does not mean that that can be a working system for you. Everything that you are learning, everything that you are trying to learn, the way that I would approach this, and the way that, again, I didn't take a course, I didn't read any books, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't, I'm just saying that I didn't. One of the ways that I learned, and it took a very long time because it's a trial and error, is everything that I was learning about potential concepts, best practices, and strategies, they're all just ideas of what can potentially work for you. Nothing is a working system until you prove it to be. And you're like, well, no crap, Ricky. Yeah, but so as you're watching all these videos and you're consuming hours and hours of content, one of the things that I want to remind you is practice it. It doesn't matter how well someone explains it. If you don't practice it and you don't retain that information, and if it doesn't work for you, then you're going to either have to go back to the drawing boards, adjust it, understand what's going on, and then practice it some more until it either makes sense to you or you find another way to make it work for you. It's like problem solving. This is one of the reasons that I enjoy trading the stock market so often, because every single day it's like problem solving for me. And if you're someone that doesn't like that, then maybe the stock market isn't for you. But again, you'll never know until you try it, until you practice it. So at the end of the day, I would just want to empower you to, I don't care if you learn from me. Of course, we'd love to have you within our free group, TechBud Solutions, Learn, Plan, Profit, or just from my YouTube videos. But there's so many amazing people out there. And some of their best practices might work for you. Some of their best practices might not work for you. It doesn't mean that what they're doing is either right or wrong. It's just their approach. And at the end of the day, nothing is a working system until you test it. And that's what I want to leave you with. Don't be afraid to test different, strategies, different concepts. And I think that we can utilize that same concept for every market that we choose to invest in. A perfect example, I'm recently getting into flipping homes. I'm just funding these deals, right? So I'm doing hard money loans for an investor. His name's Lenny, and I give him money. He uses my money to flip houses, and I get a percentage. But on the back end, I get to watch. I get to learn from a true professional, just like the Learn, Plan, Profit group does, and see what he does. I want to see him problem solve. I don't want to see him struggle, but I want to see how he solves problems as he's flipping these homes, as he's remodeling them, as how he, takes certain, obstacles or issues and solves them, because it will give me a better understanding of when I do encounter that, how to solve that problem. I don't want to be told what to do. I want to understand what to do. There's a difference, right? And at the end of the day, if I just hope that everything works out and that it's going to be super easy, let's be honest, nothing that is worth having comes that easy. And if it does, then you probably will not appreciate it. And I think that can be, understood in many different things. In life, with friends, with relationships, with money, and investing. So I appreciate you guys' time. I had a lot of fun. We were live for almost 50 minutes. I had a lot of fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. My friendly little reminder for you guys is, if you guys can take like 2 or 3 minutes, you heard me talk about them in this video. It's the Learn, Plan, Profit group. They get to see me trade live every single day, Monday through Friday. So if you like the way that I break things down, and you like the way that I explain things on YouTube, then you're going to enjoy the course. If you guys have 2 or 3 minutes, click that second link in the description and learn a little bit more about the Learn, Plan, Profit group. Everything is explained with that second link in the description. It's our welcome page. There's videos that explain what's included in the course. We give you a taste of what it's like to watch me trade live. And again, that's that second link in the description if you want to see me trade live as soon as tomorrow. The last thing that I want to leave you with is, if this is one of the first videos that you've seen of me and you're someone that's just getting started, you're a complete beginner, we have a Learn, Plan, Profit crash course. It literally costs $7. And you get access to over 1 hour of information, and that's that third link in the description. The whole purpose of the crash course is to give you a starting point. Hardest part is always getting started. And that is exactly why we created the Learn, Plan, Profit crash course. It's just so you can get your feet wet to understand how to get started and, point you in the right direction with that right mindset, with the general understanding of the stock market and stuff like that. $7. Literally, you can buy, a caramel frappuccino grande, right? Or what's the bigger one? I don't know. I don't go to Starbucks, but a Chipotle bowl. I really like Chipotle, so I might not want to compare it to that. But $7. So it's up to you guys. Again, at the end of the day, just make sure that whatever it is that you guys do, that your future self will thank you for. So I think that's a great mentality to have. Do a hair tutorial. I know my hair looks pretty good today, huh? Totally kidding. I really do appreciate you guys' time. Continue working hard, continue following dreams, let your passion be what drives your success. Hope you guys had an amazing and blessed Sunday. I wish you guys an amazing overall rest of your week. But like we know, my wishes and my hopes and my desires for you guys doesn't mean anything if you don't put in the effort. So let's take action, let's have fun, and let's enjoy the process. Again, all the links are in the description if you guys want to get connected. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care.